Hey Abram, I want to talk about two things. First one is it's the same subject about, well, it's my process of getting into the vortex, which I want to say I've been working with, but I've been playing with.
Let's say it in an even softer way. What's my process for finding resonance for what's in the vortex? What's my process for warming up to the vortex? What's my process for getting in the vicinity of the vortex? What's my process for feeling like my inner being feels in the vortex? Or what's my process for feeling better and better and better? That's all the same.
I realized it's always different every day. Like, I can't have one process. I'm going with the feeling, some general, and then every day in the moment, I might feel, oh, do I want to reach for the feeling of ease? No, it doesn't feel right. And then I'm like, oh, do I want to reach for the feeling of success? And suddenly it's like, you talked about the lady with the twitching. Well, for me, it's like a sudden jump in my chest and sudden elation.
This is really good because this is really good for this reason. You see, so we're talking about the receiving mode, and we're talking about what's in the vortex and how it's pulsing right there in that place of flying high and feeling good. And let's say you're up there in vibrational alignment with that. So there's no gap between where you are and where what's in your vortex is. And so things begin to flow. That physical motion is an indicator that you're there.
Yeah.
That's a step beyond the thought indication. That's the physical feeling of open valve, or valve opening.
But I realize it's always different. So sometimes writing gets me into it. Sometimes I think myself, but I have to almost like try it out, like guide it. Like,
think about this. Esther really wanted to have an out-of-body experience because she'd heard about out-of-body experiences, and she was feeling unworthy about not having any. Sort of like, if you're really a spiritual person, surely you can accomplish an out-of-body experience. And she had not had an out-of-body experience, and so as long as she felt that way, she wasn't having an out-of-body experience. And then one day, while she wasn't thinking about it, she had an out-of-body experience. And then she had a few out-of-body experiences where she just flew around on the golf course at night and around the ceiling in the apartment, and she didn't witness any operations because there weren't any. You always hear about the person floating over the operating table and watching themselves. But then, once she had the experience of an out-of-body experience, she didn't have any more out-of-body experiences, even though she kind of thought she might like them because they were way fun. And when she asked us about it, we said, what's the point of doing something that you've already done? In other words, you had that experience in order to understand that, now what? It's only humans that keep doing the same things over and over again and expecting to have progress.
so what I understand is it doesn't matter what, it just matters that you are happy and in the vortex.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what subject you're on.
Because when you consider this, your inner being knows everything that you want. And your inner being knows where you are in relationship to everything that you want. And your inner being knows the path of least resistance to get you from where you are to everything that you want. That makes sense, doesn't it? But this is the new piece that we want you to hear. You're going to like this so much.
You never let me talk it out.
We're going to let you in a moment. We're going to let you in a moment. We want to give you this piece first.
Okay, listen.
So if you accept that your inner being knows everything that you want and knows where you are and is calling you, if you're in the receptive mode and your inner being calls you, it feels one way to you. If you're in a little bit less receptive mode, it feels another way. If you're in a little bit less receptive mode, it feels another way. But your inner being is always calling you. And so every impulse you have, hear this, every impulse you have is your inner being calling you. But when you're in a less receptive mode, it feels different to you than when you are really in tune with the wholeness of who your inner being is.
Okay, so I try to intellectualize this.
So talk it out.
So I'm an actor too, like the second lady. I want to be in movies. I had a lot of good success actually before with the Law of Attraction. What my question is, I know everything's about getting happy, being in the vortex, and getting those feelings. My process, like I just explained, is I get as much as I can into the vortex. And
well, we know that, and you do that from time to time. In fact, you do that quite a bit of time. We just have one question to ask you about being in movies. Do you think that you feel more not in movies or more in movies? Are you in a movie right now? Do you have any contracts lined up for it? Do you feel more not in movies or more in movies?
Well, not in movies, but I attracted, like, I was on a TV show and I was doing I love different projects, but I really want to be in movies.
We know, but we're just asking you a question about
I feel not. Yeah.
on a
No.
day-to-day basis, you feel more not in movies.
Yeah, I only feel in movies in the moments when I like really visualize it.
So you feel on your way to being in movies, or you feel like being in movies is a possibility, or you even remember when it was moving a little more that way.
Yeah.
But right now, you feel less about being in movies than your desire really is.
Should I not think about it then? Or?
Well, it might be easier for you to think about other things and get into the vortex, and that's what we meant earlier. It's what we were saying that our friend doesn't have the benefit of. Let's say your subject is wanting to be in movies, but every time you think about being in movies, you're so aware that you're not in movies that you make it really hard. So the thoughts that come really hard because your inner being is trying to call you toward impulses and rendezvous and things that would translate into that manifestation that you want. But since you're not there, let's say in this moment, then it just feels uncomfortable and it makes you feel like you're failing at it instead of succeeding at it. So let's say that then something distracts you and you're not thinking about movies at all. You're thinking about sex, or you're thinking about eating something that is really good in a wonderful restaurant, or you're in the ocean thinking about the wave that you're trying to catch. You're thinking about something other than what isn't working. So you're off the subject altogether, but you're in the receptive mode. And so now the thing about the movies can unfold because you're in the receptive mode. You don't have to be on the subject of your desire. You just have to not be in opposition to it. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
So anything that makes you feel better puts you in the receptive mode, which makes all things that you want start coming into fruition.
So anything that makes me feel good, it doesn't even have to be on the subject of movies. Can give
In fact, it's better if it isn't on the subject of movies, if the way you feel about movies is the absence of movies.
Okay. So the process that I do...
It's hard for you to imagine not thinking about something that you care about so much. But if you care about it and it's not working, then without meaning to, you're thinking thoughts in opposition to your own desire.
But I actually care about being in movies for like the experience. Like I want to see myself. I want to have this adventure. I want to travel a lot. I do it for the feeling. I know it. And so what I do in the process is like I sit down. I have always a sentence. It excites me to know that in my dear reality, I feel excitement. And then when I hear it...
So here's an important question for you. So what you just said to us, it's really good if it's true. And might be, might not be. This is really good. This is what you just said to us. I want to feel good. I want to feel happy. I want to feel free. And that means travel and lots of fun things. And it doesn't matter to me how it comes to me. I will take those wonderful things in any way.
Yeah, those experiences.
But we think you also want to be in movies.
Yeah, because I love being in front of camera.
And it's in your vortex. The things that you've been sifting and sorting have put that there. So we don't want you to say, I don't want it when you want it. We just don't want you to focus upon something that is a problem subject for you and deny what you do want. Can you hear this important distinction that we've been making all day? There's plenty of movies in your vortex. There's plenty of movies in your vortex. But the way to them is not by thinking about the movies that aren't happening right now.
So what do you want me to do?
We want you to think about anything that allows the circuit to be open, because when the circuit's open, the movies will come. Anything that lets the circuit be open. And the conversation about the movies often doesn't let the circuit be open because you know too much. You've talked to too many. There's too many starving actors out there. There's too many people who aren't in movies. There's too many conversations about only a handful are really getting all the things.
Well, I've been thinking about feelings, and those feelings bring up memories of like past projects that were really exciting, so that brings up the feeling.
That's helpful if you stay there, but often that feeling changes. You said it changes. If it feels exciting to you, then milk it as long as it feels exciting to you.
And then I go to the next feeling.
But often it turns before you really get any momentum going about it. That's the key in all of this. So let's back up and make sure that everyone understands how this really works. So first, you get anything you want. That's first. Next, you've put pieces of it, some big pieces and some small pieces, into this vortex. And so not only do you get what you want, but your inner being and a whole lot of non-physicals know what it is you want, where what you want is, and where you are in relationship to what you want. It's not just that you get what you want. Here's why. You get what you want because you've already put a vibrational version of it, and there are non-physical energies, the energies that create worlds, who are on it. Do you believe that? Do you believe that what you want is being tended to? What you want is more than the individual pieces that you put in, because what you want has gathered together with those individual pieces. Law of attraction has been shining on this vibrational version of it, and it has become more even than the individual pieces that you put there. And it's calling you all the time. Now, when it calls you, if you're in the vibrational vicinity of it, you feel enlivened by it. But if you're not in the vibrational vicinity of it, it feels like a nagging wife or a nagging mother. It feels like somebody trying to get you to do something that you're not ready to do. It's almost like go away and leave me alone if you're really not a vibrational match to it. So if you think of it, it feels like you want to follow through with something. Then the more it's calling you from here, it always is, and the closer to there you are. So let's recap. You get everything that you want, and everything that you want is known by your inner being. And you, as you said to us accurately, you are at varying degrees of alignment, and so it feels different to you at different times. That's all right. It doesn't matter if it feels different to you. It's only important that you know that your inner being will never stop calling, that the path is never going to go away. The path to what you want will never disappear. The path to what you want is always valid and there for you. The only thing that changes is your receptiveness to that path. So if you're really resistant and you really want it, you're going to have a lot of hard knocks coming up. You're going to get it, but it's going to be a struggle. And you're going to write a book, and it's going to feel so good to all the other starving actors who are reading it, because that's how they develop the bogus belief that you have to pay a big price for your success. Is because there have been a whole lot of people who have wanted it and not believed it, who have gone about it the hard way, and so they teach you that it's hard work to get what you want. But it isn't hard work to get what you want. It's only takes alignment to what you want. And you have to figure out what thoughts you think help you and what thoughts you think don't help you. And that's pretty simple. What thoughts feel good and what thoughts don't feel good. So sometimes the thought of that wonderful time you were having when you were involved in a project feel good to you, and sometimes they don't. See if you can identify what makes the difference. The thought that feels good because. The thought that doesn't feel good feels not good because.
Because I'm on a certain vibrational level, and the thought is the next one.
But it's easier than that. It's like the thought that feels good was all of a sudden, seemingly out of the blue, you got the call. And the feeling of elation about that. Yes, that thought feels good. And every time you think that thought, it helps you. Every time you isolate that part of your life experience and you think about that moment in time, it helps you. It opens a circuit. So if you could think that 100 times a day, you'd open that circuit 100 times a day, and that would make a difference in what unfolds to you. But then what thought doesn't feel good? Project didn't continue, or you got...
The cast and directors always say, you still have a little bit of an accent.
Yeah, you're not quite right for this. And how does that feel? That feels like shutting down. So every time you think that thought, boom, close the circuit. Every time you think that thought, boom, close the circuit. So do you have the ability to choose the better feeling of those two thoughts?
Yeah.
You do. And that's all there is to this. Do you have the ability to think about your lover coming or think about your lover staying away forever? It's your choice. It's your choice. You get to choose. And if you're choosing by how it feels now you're choosing open circuit, closed circuit, open circuit, closed circuit, open circuit, closed circuit. And the more you choose the open circuits, then the more momentum happens, and the more your desire dominates, and the more beliefs that haven't been helping fade into the background, and the more what feels like magic happens to you. And those who are watching you say, oh man, what's going on with you? I just heard you say that for the first time the other day, and you're already doing it. I just heard you talking about blue glass, and now the room's full of blue glass. I just heard you commenting on how you'd like to be on that project, and boom, magic, you're on that project. The universe will give you, as fast as you will let it, everything you want.